Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be sort of another health update. I did one of these back in August and I figured I would do another one. I figured by now I would have some answers, but honestly I'm back to the point where I just have more questions, and hopefully we'll be able to figure something out. I'll be able to figure out why Poe keeps wanting this water bottle. Okay. So, if you are new here, I am Jamie and I live with 5 chronic illnesses: postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, cyclic vomiting syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic gastritis, and anemia. So I have a good amount of health issues. But today I just kind of wanted to update you on what's been happening since I went to the doctor in August. So, a little bit of a backstory. I woke up in a flare on August 6th after getting back from vacation. That's not uncommon for me. I knew something like that would happen, and usually I rest, I take care of myself, and I'm better. And I never got any better. It just kept getting worse. So I went to the doctor on August 12th. I started a steroid on August 14th, and I finished that steroid on August 19th. And for about a week, I was doing really good. I felt good. I was able to eat. I wasn't brutally exhausted to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. And then I woke up on, it was either the 26th or the 27th, I can't remember, and my muscles and my joints were killing me. Like, it hurt to move. They were hurting me that bad. So I talked to my doctor and I figured he would say, okay, well, there's nothing we can do, so just take Tylenol and deal with it. And instead he said, let's try another steroid and we'll try it for a longer taper period. So I had done a 6-day taper, and then he sent me in a 12-day. So I started that on August 27th. And for the first few days on that steroid, my nausea was horrible. I could not eat. I could barely drink. It just... And they warn you when you're on steroids about that, but I had never experienced anything like that. So it took about 4 or 5 days, and then finally September 1st I woke up and my nausea was better, and my muscle and joint pain was a little bit better, but that was really depending on what I was doing and just what was going on that day. And then I decided, because my doctor had said, well, maybe since you haven't been working out like consistently and your body was used to that, that's it. So he said, when you start feeling better, to the point where you think you can work out again, you need to start doing that. So on September 2nd, I started working out again with an actual schedule, and I started implementing more movement. Like, even if I wasn't working out that day, I was getting up and I was going out and I was doing stuff and implementing more movement, even though it wasn't, even on days that I wasn't scheduled to work out. Like, I would do yoga, or I would go for a walk or something. And mainly it was just to see if it would help. And 2 days after I started doing that, I noticed I was feeling better. Like, almost to the point where I was before my flare started. And that lasted a whole day. I don't think I even got a whole 24 hours before I started feeling weird. I woke up on the 5th and I was nauseous, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll take my Compazine. Because sometimes the Zofran just doesn't help, and I was like, okay, let's try the Compazine again, just to see if my body just needs a change up. And it helped. And then I started getting extremely lightheaded, extremely fatigued, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And that happened again on September 6th. After I'd taken a Compazine. So I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. But I was still on steroids. I had one more day left of my steroids, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's it. So on the 7th of September, I finished off my steroids, and I didn't have to take a nausea pill that day. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it was my nausea that's making me sick. Not exactly sure it was the Compazine that was making me sick, but I do have a few theories that it probably was, so yeah. But I've taken it since and had no problems. But then, on September 8th, I had eaten and we had gone about our day, and I started getting extremely nauseous again. Like, I do not know what happened to me. And then the next day I woke up with indigestion and a swollen jaw, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on with me? Because when I'm about to start my cycle, my jaw swells like right through here. I don't know why, but it does. And I'm thinking, okay, but I'm not getting close to that, so I didn't know what the hell it was. But that lasted 2 or 3 days, and it went away, and the indigestion would be better with Tums and my omeprazole, and then randomly it went away. Like, September 11th, that's when I started feeling better. I don't know if it was just that I knew I had something to do that day, so that's why I started feeling better, or what. But that was also the day I noticed that my nausea was coming and going, but was better with food. And very rarely is my nausea actually helped by food. So it was weird. But then, like, that remained good for a few days. Like, everything the last few months has been, okay, a few days here, a few days here. It's been a roller coaster the entire time. And then September 14th, I wake up, heart palpitations, my heart rate is completely unstable. 1 minute it's in the 80s, the next it's in the 50s, and the next it's in the 100s. It did not matter what I was doing. My heart rate was unstable. and my blood pressure was doing the same thing, but not as drastically as my heart rate was. But I figured I have a cardiologist appointment in less than 2 weeks, so I would just deal with it. So that's like, I had an emergency beta blocker and I had been taking it every now and then, but I had ran out in the middle of the 14th when all this stuff started and gone to the cardiologist. So I went like, I think 4 or 5 days without that. That's just what I did. I dealt with it, and then I'm thinking, okay, I'll just do what I have to do, and then I'll go to the cardiologist. Well, September 24th came. That's when I went to the cardiologist. I vlogged that day. If you want to see it, I will link it somewhere in the cards. It's not really important, but yeah. But mainly, I was thinking I was going to go in and tell him all this, and he was going to blow me off like normal. And it shocked me that he was actually able to help me. So we ended up coming up with a plan that would help me a little bit. So what we were doing, instead of me having an emergency beta blocker, we were going to try for a medication. I was going to try out a medication if the insurance approved it. The insurance did not approve that medication. So he put me on the beta blocker I'd been on and using it as an emergency beta blocker. He put me on that beta blocker as every day, twice a day medication instead of me needing it, instead of me using it when I needed it, to see if that would actually help. So on the 26th, because I had to wait for the insurance to deny all this stuff and go through all that process. If you have a chronic illness, you understand the insurance process better than the insurance people do themselves, I swear. Because that's what I was doing this morning before I was filming. So the 26th, I started the beta blocker. It's different when you take it every now and then versus when you have to take it every day, twice a day. Like, the side effects are different, how you feel on it is different, everything is different. And mainly for me, it was like chest pain, and every now and then I wasn't dizzy, but I was lightheaded. And there is a difference, and a lot of times doctors don't realize there is a difference. And he also said that we would look, and I finally got a message from him saying, okay, so I can't find anything on why somebody with POTS would have to keep going on steroids for their symptoms to get better. And when I got that message from him, I sent a message to my regular doctor and explained to him what the cardiologist had said and what the cardiologist had, what the treatment plan was, basically. So he sent back his theory of adrenal insufficiency and said, well, it's possible it's this. And it's funny because this is the same doctor who told me I wouldn't have thought about POTS if I wouldn't have been looking at rare illnesses. He sends me back, long shot at best, it is very rare. And I'm thinking, which means I probably have it because I just seem to be extremely rare. So he sent me in a referral for an endocrinologist, and that appointment is scheduled for November 7th. I will take you along with me for that appointment, and I might do another health update video. I'm not sure. It really depends on how that appointment goes. And I just want to see how everything continues to go for the next few weeks and possibly next month or so. Just because I have stuff I need to do and I have stuff I want to do, and I just want to do that and enjoy myself without stressing out over an appointment and a future video. So yeah. But in between me starting the propranolol and talking to my doctors and getting this endocrinologist appointment scheduled, I'd been having really bad indigestion, and the belching had gotten worse. And the belching is the worst thing for me when it comes to my gastritis. I don't know why, but that's the worst thing for me. So I noticed they had been getting worse and they were not getting better. So October 3rd, I messaged my doctor and told him what was going on. And I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to end up telling me to come in and see him, and I'm going to have to go through all of this, and then I'm going to end up having to go to a gastroenterologist and all this stuff, because why not? And instead, he didn't do that. He said, double up on the omeprazole. So for 1 week, I took 2 omeprazole. I started on the 3rd, and my last day on that was the 10th. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm actually feeling a little bit better. That also happened to be 2 weeks on my beta blocker as a regular medication and not an emergency medication. So I was feeling better, and from every angle, and it was weird. If you live with multiple chronic illnesses, you know that usually when one starts to feel better, the other one starts to build back up and attack you again. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what it feels like. So I'm thinking, okay, so now what? And then 5 days later, on the 15th, I started, I always have nausea. I'm always nauseous, but I started throwing up again. And I ended up having to take 2 Zofran on the 15th instead of just 1. And I never have to do that, or I very rarely have to take 2 nausea pills in 1 day. And if I do, usually if they're not spaced out enough to be the same pill. So when I did that, my first thought was, oh crap. And when I have nausea problems and issues, and it's my cyclic vomiting syndrome, I am nauseous all day. No matter what pills I take, it doesn't matter. I end up taking more. And I usually have to take a Zofran and then a Compazine or something, because I can't, because they're not spaced out enough to take the same kind. But I'm thinking, okay, so I'm not really sure what's going on. And even today, still not completely sure of what's going on. And all I know, or shoot, I wrote that wrong. It wasn't the 15th, it was the 13th I ended up taking 2 nausea pills. Yesterday was the 15th. Yesterday was the day that I started vomiting again, and I realized, okay, this is either a random thing or this is going to be really, really bad. And today's the 16th, and I threw up this morning. And I'm sorry for TMI if that bothers you, but this is part of living with chronic illnesses, especially cyclic vomiting syndrome. So, yeah. But even today, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck is going on with me. Is this my cyclic vomiting syndrome, or is this just some random thing? And I'm still not sure. My nausea pill from today that I took is kind of helping now. So I'm hoping that it's just a random thing and it's when the weather changes and I will be better. But if I don't start feeling better before it gets worse, I'll end up in most likely a cyclic vomiting flare, which is not going to be any fun. But I guess right now, another cliffhanger. I'm leaving you at, am I going to end up in a flare? And, oh, I have an endocrinologist appointment next month, but I don't know. It's just, with chronic illness, it's never ending. You think you got your answers, and then something changes, and you don't have your answers. So, yeah. But that's kind of what's been going on with my health. So, if you like these kind of chronic illness videos, give this video a thumbs up. If you've not done so already, hit the red subscribe button down below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.